What's going on, guys? Mickle here, and in this video I am bringing you more news, more evidence that absolutely shreds the SEC apart in their case against Ripple. The SEC is no doubt about it stuck in a web of lies right now, and I do not believe they will be able to get out. They have dug themselves a massive hole, and I believe they're trapped, and it's going to end up with XRP getting clarity when this is all said and done. At the end of this video, I also want to bring you some new technical analysis. I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. Make sure you guys stick around for that. If you're new to this channel or come here all the time, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's jump right into it. Alrighty guys, let's jump right into this, and you are not going to believe how sketchy the SEC is being right now. They are lying every chance they get just to get out of this thing, and I am going to show you guys hard evidence that proves they are just making stuff up as they go. First, let me point out, I actually got a retweet from John Deaton right here. That was pretty sick, made me pretty proud, and I just want to go over this very quickly so you guys know what we're talking about. Right now, the SEC is trying to claim that they have never made a determination on Ethereum or Bitcoin, despite the fact that they have. On multiple SEC articles, they have specifically said that the commission has also publicly recognized Ethereum and its native currency Ether, and directly point people reading this enforcement action to the speech given by William Hinman. What the SEC is doing is they're saying, we take credit for the speech by William Hinman, go listen to it, and that will help you figure out whether your asset's a security. Well, the problem the SEC got into was this actually really hurts them in the Ripple SEC case, so now what are they trying to do? They're just trying to pretend like it never happened. So we can see right here that the SEC says in this case against Ripple, there was no action that it took to say Bitcoin is not a security or Ether is not a security, despite the fact that literally they're the ones who said that they do not believe Ethereum's a security. This is clearly a double standard, and they're just lying on the spot. And this is great evidence of this fact, but I actually found even more today that proves that they did make a determination on Ethereum and Bitcoin, and they just don't want to admit it because it completely blows up their case against Ripple. And let me show you that. If we take a look at this right here, and this was tweeted out by Stephen Hubert, we can see, and this is a little hard to see, so if you guys go to my Twitter, link in my bio, you can look at these exact documents and zoom in and read it yourself. But this document was from Grayscale Bitcoin Trust in 2020. In this highlighted text down here, they essentially say that none of their what do you want to call them, vehicles like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust or the Ethereum Trust have been registered by the SEC, and along with the XRP Trust. So sounds pretty normal. XRP hasn't made a determination. None of them are registered, and this was before the enforcement action against Ripple. Yet, and this is where it gets crazy, after the enforcement action came against Ripple, we can see that it was actually updated. And here we see this document says the shares of each product are not registered under the Security Act of 1933, which is essentially the SEC Commission. The Securities Exchange Act of 1934, except for Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and Grayscale Ethereum Trust. So we see right here that Digital Currency Group is telling us in this document that they have registered their Bitcoin Trust and their Grayscale Ethereum Trust with the SEC. So let me tell you this right now. If Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's not been any ruling on their status as digital currencies, unregistered securities, the SEC would not be able to approve these trusts, because how could they approve trusts that are being backed by something that have zero clarity in the market like the SEC is claiming? We can see right here, the SEC is claiming they have made no action or no determination on if Bitcoin's a security or not, or Ethereum's a security or not. Yet they tell people back in the day that they actually did make a determination on this. And they're actually telling companies who are coming to them like Grayscale, yeah, you can register your Bitcoin and Ethereum trust, despite the fact that we have no idea what's going on with them and we have not made a determination on them. Guys, it is extremely obvious what's going on here, and let me break it down for you. The SEC wanted to get Bitcoin and Ethereum through the door, so they made up some very light clarity for them back in the day so that they could kind of push them forward and get them through. Yet now when it comes to Ripple and the case with the SEC, they're trying to slam that door and say, oh, we never gave Bitcoin and Ethereum clarity, and hopefully you guys don't look back at any of our documents and catch the web of lies we left behind. Yet what they didn't expect is for people like us to be digging into this and calling them out for the absolute hypocrisy that's going on right now. The good thing about this is people are not sleeping on it. They are calling out the SEC, and that's why they aren't going to get away with it. We can see that Charles Gasparino, reporting for Fox News, is directly calling him out right here. He says, as of today, the official position of the SEC appears that the agency has made no official announcement on the status of Bitcoin and Ethereum and are unregistered, and whether they are unregistered securities, court documents show. Pretty amazing that the commission holds this view, and he says, because he's looking at these documents that directly say they have this view, so how could the SEC now be coming back and saying we never had made this view? It directly goes against the proof that is shown in all of these different documents that they left behind in their web of lies, and that is why they are running out of places to go. We can even see now, rather than even just coming forward, ending this case, now the SEC has actually taken it upon themselves to just start deleting documents off their page. Act like they never happened. Guys, I don't know what is a more telltale sign than you're lying than to go around and start deleting things off the SEC page. This is super sketchy. I cannot even believe anyone would advise them to be doing this. It's pretty crazy, and let's move on because I don't even understand how you could have any respect for an agency who's willing to lie just to get what it wants and has no interest in defending the people that it's supposed to protect. The great thing about all of this is people are catching on. We can see that in this hearing the other day, this crypto hearing in front of Congress and the Senate, we saw that the SEC was being called out like crazy. And people are starting to figure out that the SEC is not doing its job and is really just looking after its own interests. Make sure you guys watch this.
Sure. It's because the Securities and Exchange Commission has consistently refused to approve products that other G20 nations have approved.
So we're behind the curve?
Unquestionably.
Right there. Boom. We are behind the curve because the SEC is too busy going around lying about pointless stuff rather than just getting to the fact and admitting that they have completely destroyed any credibility they have in this space and have been too busy going after their own interests than creating clear regulations for cryptocurrency companies to follow. And that's why we have a digital asset space that is lagging behind other countries. Let's keep going. We can see that Brian Brooks actually goes out of his way the next day on Fox News to actually make the point that it's very obvious that XRP is not a security, and this is why.
We know that Bitcoin is pretty much acting like a currency, but what about the others? There's this argument about XRP and some of the names out there where they say we are a currency, but they're being looked at in a way different fashion.
Yeah, Liz, that is a great question, and I think it speaks to one of the most misguided questions yesterday, which was another question from Congressman Sherman, predicated on the idea that all cryptocurrencies are trying to replace money. The truth is, only a few cryptocurrencies are trying to do that. The others are doing totally different things. So you mentioned XRP. Yeah, XRP looks a little bit like a currency that represents a cross-border exchange of value, typically for remittances. For example, when immigrants are sending money home, XRP is a uniform to use. But most of these cryptocurrencies are built for other things. Like the Ether token, that's not meant to be a currency. The Ether token...
Right there. He literally says that XRP looks a little bit like a currency. What he's saying is no, it's not meant to replace formal currency, but it's certainly not the security of Ripple. It's an asset to move value all around the world. He gets it. I'm sure the SEC gets it. They just don't want to admit it. But the good thing is they are getting called out, and I think they are going to be forced to get after it or lose any power they're going to have in this market going forward. The last thing I want to show you is this quote right here.
The current test clear, it's clear in the sense that we know what it is. It's not clear in that it's a four-factor balancing test. So I often think about what like the U.S. trucking industry would be like if the truckers didn't know that the speed limit was 75 miles an hour, they just had a 4-factor test of general safety having to do with how much sleep they got the night before, the overall size of their payload, and other factors. People need to know what the speed limit is.
Once again, just calling out the SEC, calling out the regulatory bodies, saying Ripple had no way of understanding what was going on in this market, and that's really the reason why we're in the position we are right now. Once again, the good thing is people are catching up, and it's people like Brian Brooks who are holding people accountable for what's going on in the space. The last thing I wanted to point out before we get into the charts is Rally for Cryptos tomorrow. Go to my Twitter, retweet this, it's on there. We want to bring as much attention to this as possible and make sure that we keep the pressure on these congressmen, these senators, the SEC, that we're all watching, and we're only going to elect people who are going to do the things that we deem good for the cryptocurrency industry. Guys, I thought this was super interesting, and this is the XRP chart against Bitcoin. If we zoom in right here, we can see that XRP is actually currently breaking out of this massive descending resistance we had. It looks like we have a pretty solid breakout above it. It's going to be super interesting to see where this goes, because we know that when XRP breaks out of these bear markets that it has against Bitcoin, the price gets extremely parabolic and can explode against the value of Bitcoin. I think it would be super interesting if over the next couple of weeks we started to more break out against Bitcoin, reach the top of this symmetrical triangle before we eventually exploded to the upside and moved to new all-time highs. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. And for now, Mickle out.